So the Apple Watch Ultra 2 was released on September 22nd. I've had mine now for about 2 weeks. In this video, I'm going to try to cover everything about the Apple Watch Ultra 2, not just what's new over the original one. Well, hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. First, I want to let you know that I did purchase the Apple Watch Ultra 2 with my own hard-earned money. It's really the most expensive watch I've ever purchased. This thing retails for $799. I have many watches. I've reviewed tons of watches, but this is my first Apple Watch ever. So in this review, it's going to be from my perspective as a new user to the Apple Watch family. So when my Apple Watch Ultra 2 arrived in this nice little box here, neatly packaged inside was, first off, the quick start guide right here. Kind of cool. Nice little scenery there. And then of course the Apple Watch Ultra 2 here, and I chose the Trail Loop, which I think looks pretty sharp, pretty nice. So first I had to pair it to my iPhone 11. Yes, I said the iPhone 11, which meant I needed to be on iOS 17, which I was not, so I had to do that update. And believe me, that took quite a while to get to iOS 17. But after the update was complete, I was able to pair the Apple Watch Ultra 2 to my iPhone 11 and begin the setup process. The app guides you very nicely and easily through the process. It's really very simple to do, and it asks you a couple of questions along the way, and you can even customize the international orange button on the side to a number of options. For me, I chose the start a workout because after all, I am a trail and ultra runner. Hey, real quick, scroll down, click that thumbs up button, and also click subscribe while you're down there because I will definitely be releasing more videos, ultra trail running specific to the Apple Watch Ultra in the future. You do not want to miss those. So after playing around with the watch for a few minutes, I went about my day. And like I said, I have reviewed tons of watches on the channel here from Garmin, Coros, Polar, Cospit, all these other brands here, and none of them pair seamlessly like the Apple Watch does to the iPhone. Obviously, you would expect that being an Apple product, but it's just so amazing the difference in how it communicates, and just the interface is just so much easier and seamless with an iPhone. It's really very, very nice. A big part of that is the custom Apple Silicone S9 SIP, which makes it faster than ever before. The new 64-bit dual-core processor has 5.6 billion transistors, which is 60% more than the previous generation of the Apple Watch Ultra. A new 4-core neural engine processes machine learning tasks up to 2 times faster, and the GPU is 30% faster as well. Basically what that means is it's just really, really fast. When going through the watch, you can cycle through all these different apps. I mean, there's so many apps on here. There's really no delay in opening an app. It's very, very quick and seamless. And it's very similar to the iPhone, that if you have a lot of different apps or browser extensions open on an iPhone, on the Apple Watch Ultra here, you double click the digital crown and you can close those and I guess kind of reduce some of the processing power. But this thing is very fast. I've not noticed any slowdown at all. So thanks to the more powerful 4-core neural engine, the most common Siri tasks are now processed on the actual watch itself. No longer do they have to go up to the cloud, to your iPhone to be processed, and then back to the cloud, back to the watch. It can take place right on your watch, even if you don't have connectivity for things like adding a waypoint when you're out, mountaineering. The dictation is also super quick and accurate. I've been using it very frequently in my texting, and honestly, I think it's more accurate than my iPhone. It works really, really well. Hey Siri, text Valen. I'm recording a video right now, but wanted to say hi. And coming later this year, thanks to the secure on-device processing, you'll actually be able to use your Apple Watch Ultra 2 to interact with Apple Health for things like, you could say, hey Siri, what's my heart rate? Hey Siri, how did I sleep last night? Hey Siri, I took my medication at 8 a.m. And seems like that would be really useful for day-to-day functions. Another cool feature about the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is it features an ultra-wideband chip that enables precision finding of your iPhone. So if you lose it, you can now get guided kind of to that direction and find your phone much easier. However, I should note that it is only available on the iPhone 15 because it also has that ultra-wideband chipset. The display of the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is amazing. It has a new always-on Retina LTPO OLED display that goes up to an insanely bright 3000 nits. It's been really, really nice. LTPO is a technology that was developed by Apple and stands for a low temperature polycrystalline oxide and refers to a special type of backplane technology that appears on OLED displays. And as I'm sure you know, because it's been around for a minute now, the OLED stands for organic light emitting diode. But really the main advantage of that LTPO technology is that it reduces power consumption by changing the refresh rate of the display. That crazy bright display of the Apple Watch Ultra 2 has been awesome in the really, really bright skies of Colorado here when outside running. It's not been difficult to see the watch ever. Even with my polarized sunglasses on when running, I can clearly see everything very brightly. It's been really, really nice. But one of the cooler features, honestly, is that now in low light situations, the watch can actually go down to 1 nit of brightness, which It basically turns it to like a red light mode in dark situations, and it makes it easier to see at night, and it's really pretty cool. The display is sapphire glass, which is just ridiculously durable. I have had sapphire glass displays on many of my watches now over the last 3 or 4 years, and I have still yet been able to scratch those things. They are just incredibly durable. The Ultra 2 has a 49mm titanium case that's made from 95% recycled aerospace grade titanium for the perfect balance between weight, ruggedness, and corrosion resistance. The Ultra 2 has been tested to mil standard 810H, which basically means that Apple has tested it against subsections for altitude, high temperature, low temperature, temperature shock, humidity, immersion, freeze, thaw, shock, and vibration. Quite a lot of testing. And the titanium case has a little bit of a raised edge around the display to kind of protect the edges from getting chipped or any kind of impact damage. The watch itself weighs in at 61 grams. With the trail loop band, it weighs in at 70 grams. Really, that's a fairly heavy weight, honestly, when I think about all of my other GPS dedicated running watches. However, when I'm running, wearing it just day to day, it feels incredibly comfortable on the wrist. Honestly, it's probably the most comfortable watch that I've worn. This trail loop band is just amazing, and I love it, quite frankly. And just for reference, here's what it looks like on my 16cm circumference wrist. As for navigation and GPS accuracy, the Ultra 2 uses dual frequency L1 and L5 GPS built into an antenna design that provides greater range. It combines data from both frequencies to provide more accurate distance, pace, and route calculations. And it operates on GLONASS, Galileo, QZSS, and Baidu systems. It actually works with Apple Maps to identify actual locations. You can see, buildings and things like that. It's really pretty cool. But looking at it from a runner's perspective and using an app called Work Outdoors, more on that in just a minute, I'm actually able to see a very detailed map with street names, water, terrain, all of that for easy navigation. And it features an always-on altimeter for an expanded operating range of -500 meters up to 9,000 meters. So in theory, if you wanted, you could go all the way up to Everest. You're probably not. As for accuracy of that GPS, I did several tests. The first one was a double on the Manitou incline. On the way up, it was a paved road with a little bit of trees on either side of the road, and then it was on an exposed incline going up. You can see the Apple Watch Ultra 2 had some issues in a couple of places, some zigzagging with the GPS track. You can also see this as I went up and down the incline. This area is pretty exposed, so I'm not really sure why there was a little bit of GPS lag. It's really on the side of the mountain, clear view of the sky, no tree cover, so kind of a perfect scenario, so it was a little odd in that situation. The second test was here through town in Colorado Springs. This was in a very exposed open area with no tree cover, really kind of the perfect situation. The GPS track looks really clean and hits the corners nicely. Now this section here I actually ran twice. The first time by I stayed to the right of the greenway, and on the second time by I stayed to the far left of the greenway. I wanted to see if the watch would pick up that little bit of distance in between. It's really only about probably 6 to 8 feet. However, if I take a look, you can see it looks like the Apple Watch Ultra 2 did actually pick that up, which is pretty darn cool to see that small of an area being shown on the map. And one final test in the mountains against the Coros Pace 3, which in my testing has shown to be one of the more accurate watches out there with their dual band frequency, right there with the Coros Vertex 2, so it's a very accurate comparison. This route had a good bit of tree cover, and I started in a valley, so kind of not the greatest scenario, but you can see both watches did a really good job and looked to be very accurate. When it comes to running on the treadmill with the Ultra 2, it was off by a little over a mile in a 7-mile run compared to my Coros Pace 3. So if you're going to be doing a lot of indoor running, I would definitely recommend pairing the Ultra 2 with a pod, something like the Stride or a Coros Pod 2, and those can be paired via Bluetooth 5.3. Now moving on to the heart rate accuracy. This heart rate sensor is Apple's 3rd generation optical heart rate sensor, and this sensor can give you an ECG reading, HRV readings, blood oxygen, and helps with sleep tracking. As for the accuracy, I did several tests comparing it to a chest strap, which is kind of known to be really the most accurate out there, as well as an armband, which is generally considered to be more accurate than a wrist-based system. On that same Manitou incline double that I did, you can see it seems like the HW9 arm strap picked up the changes in heart rate a little bit quicker and picked up the minor fluctuations a little bit quicker too. Overall though, it looks like the Apple Watch Ultra 2 did a fairly good job. On this one here, I did some fartlicks to kind of get the heart rate up a little bit. I wanted to have it spike up fairly quickly. And you can see I got basically the same result. Seems like the armband and the chest straps picked up that change in heart rate just a little bit quicker. Overall, for being a wrist-based optical heart rate sensor, it's pretty darn accurate. It did pick up the same heart rate readings, but maybe just a little bit delayed beyond a chest strap. Some other cool features for those that are going to be out in the mountains exploring and seeking adventure. If you hold down the International Orange action button on the side, hold that down, you can actually activate a siren like in an emergency situation. And this supposedly can be heard up to 600 feet or 180 meters away. It can operate all the way down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit and up to 131 degrees Fahrenheit, making it usable in pretty much any environment out there. It's also EN 13319 certified, which is an internationally recognized standard for diving accessories. Now, I'm definitely not a diver, but the Apple Watch Ultra 2 does feature a depth gauge and all the data and functionality that a free diver might need to go down to about 40 meters. And it also features fall and crash detection, where basically if the watch picks up a very hard impact from an auto accident, a fall, that it can actually notify someone in an emergency. So that's pretty cool. I believe you do have to have the LTE activated for that, or the cellular coverage activated for that to work. And finally, now let's talk about battery life. That's definitely something that everyone is very interested in, considering this is the Ultra watch, the Ultra 2. So the watch does come with a fast charger. You put it on there and it charges honestly probably in about 2 hours. It's pretty darn quick. I often charge mine when I'm at my desk working. I'll just put it on there and it'll be ready by 10 o'clock in the morning. It's a really, really good battery for a smartwatch. Amazing. However, for a running watch, so-so. Apple claims up to 36 hours in normal use, and Apple defines normal use like you see on your screen there. I can say this seems very accurate and also a bit conservative at the same time. I am a runner. I've been wearing the watch as a smartwatch, daily, running 1 to 1.5 hours a day and texting on it, checking emails, things like that. Your typical use of an Apple Watch. And I've been charging it about every 2-ish days, probably close to that 40-hour, maybe 42-hour time frame. Apple also claims up to 72 hours of use in low power mode, which you can see is defined on screen. I have tested this also and definitely found that it seems to extend the battery life quite a bit. I don't know exactly how many hours because I tested it on low power mode for maybe a day. But it did seem to use a lot less battery. As for us ultra runners out there, Apple does claim 17 hours of use in a workout mode, or an activity basically. So yes, that is enough for a 50K, a 50 miler, maybe a 100K if you're a fairly faster runner. But I'm gonna get the chance to really test this out to the fullest here in about 2 weeks when I go run the No Business 100. However, I did do about a 3-hour and 40-minute long run on low power mode just this past weekend to really test out that feature and functionality. And over that run, the Ultra 2 used 22% of its battery life. Basically, the way it kind of works out is roughly 6% per hour. So if we do the math, that works out to almost 17 hours of use, which is what they claim. So we'll see how it does in a 100-mile race, but I am definitely not running a 17-hour 100. That's not me. I am no Jim Walmsley. And one final feature that we need to talk about the Ultra 2 is double tap. Apple was pushing this pretty hard in their launch event. Now, this feature is not out yet, I should note. It should be coming in October this month. So as soon as I do get that pushed to my Ultra 2, I will definitely begin testing it and let you guys know. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. That way you will see that video. However, in the launch video, Apple was certainly pushing this towards, rock climbers, bakers. I think there was people playing music, whatever, a lot of different things where you can just use your index finger and your thumb and tap it together very simply, one-handed. So if you're doing something where the other hand's occupied, you just do that and it activates the primary button. So that's a pretty cool feature and something I'm pretty excited to test. So the Apple Watch Ultra 2 is the same price as the original Apple Watch Ultra, which is $799. That is certainly a lot of money. Like I said, that's probably the most I've ever spent on a watch. But when it comes to the features you want on a smartwatch, Apple Pay, music, weather, texting, phone calls, email, all of that stuff right on your wrist, it's really pretty amazing and definitely the best smartwatch out there. So is the Apple Watch Ultra 2 worth it? As a smartwatch, yes, it's pretty stinking awesome. There are other smartwatches out there that do a lot of the same things for a lot less money. We can't deny that. But the ease of use, the seamlessness with the iPhone, it's amazing. However, as a runner, as an ultra runner specifically, that's where I have some concerns. So my biggest disappointment with the Apple Watch Ultra 2 so far is obviously the battery life. It's not enough to go run a 100-mile ultra unless you are an elite athlete out there running a 14-hour time. That's clearly not me. But probably one of the most surprising things as my first experience to an Apple Watch is the native workout app on the phone. It's really pretty lackluster. You can customize the display fields. I found out how to do that. That is a nice feature to be able to do that. However, you cannot export a GPX file, at least easily. You have to go download all of your health data, find the GPX route, and then you can have some of the data, but you cannot export a .fit file, which is nice if you really want to dive into some of the metrics on some other software out there. You also cannot upload a GPX file, which is kind of critical as an ultra runner. A lot of races, they don't require it, some do, that you upload a GPX file to the watch so that you can navigate the course. That way, if someone moves the course marking, you're not gonna get lost and end up in BFE somewhere.
You done taken a wrong turn.
So that's really a big downfall to the Apple Watch Ultra 2 from an ultra runner's perspective. So try to find a way around that. I began looking at other apps out there, and there's one called Work Outdoors. And that's I think $6.99 now for the app, a one-time fee. But my issue really is if you're paying $800 for a watch, you should not have to go spend additional money on an app to do something that they could pretty easily fix on the Apple Watch Ultra 2 with their native app. However, the Work Outdoors app really is pretty awesome. It's very customizable. There's a lot of great features. The maps are amazing. But I want to know your thoughts. Have you tried the Apple Watch Ultra 2? Did you try the original Apple Watch Ultra? And are you gonna upgrade? Do you think it's worth it? Drop a comment below and let me know. I'm sure everyone else would like to see that as well. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. That would be awesome and really help the channel, and click subscribe while you're down there. But if you want to take a look at a video about the Work Outdoors app, take a look on your screen. Very awesome app to really take full advantage of the features of this watch to make it more of a running watch for us trail and ultra runners out there. So thank you all for watching. I do appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.